Hi, I'm Charlene Laney, co-founder of NewMaker Financial and certified financial planner. Welcome to 2025. I'm sure that over the course of these last few weeks, you've probably been thinking about things that you want to do differently. You're probably thinking maybe about some resolutions for yourself or some intentions to set for the new year. And we are here to share with you some ideas that we have for how you can upgrade your financial life and better your financial health. So first up on our list is focus on what you can control. We know that uncertainty in the financial markets can lead to a lot of swings up and down for your portfolio. The downside, of course, being that less pleasant experience for you as the investor. And while you can't eliminate risk in your portfolio altogether, because even if you think about cash, of course, suffers from inflation risk. You can mitigate overall risk in your portfolio by just making sure that you have it fully diversified. And if you need a check on that, there are folks who can help you with that. Financial advisors such as ourselves are happy to do a bit of an investment check for you too. But also on the note of focusing on what you can control, if you, like many of us Americans, spent way too much over the holidays, do you actually know how much you're spending on an average monthly basis? And why not start by tracking your spending? Just starting from a place of awareness with where you currently stand can often be enough of a launching off point to get you where you need to be on an average monthly basis. And of course, we know with regards to the holidays, it's always going to be a little bit higher than your average month. But at the same time, we want to take that into account when we're averaging out these numbers and doing an analysis or a health check, if you will, of your finances. And similarly, when we think about the maybe mistakes that you feel you've made over the course of time with your finances, don't let yourself sit in that shame for too long. Don't shame yourself even more than is necessary. And I'm not saying that any shame is necessary really, but whatever mistakes you've made only make you human. All of us make them, especially with our money. Our money is, of course, how we interact with the world around us in this consumer economy. And it's only really when you've accepted the various imperfections about yourself, the various mistakes about yourself, and that humanness that you can begin to change and improve. Not to mention that feeling guilty and feeling shameful about what you've done in the past actually only delays you from taking action. It tends to put us in this state of wanting to kind of freeze up, not feel those feelings, and ultimately not do anything about them. So the best thing you can do is just work towards self-acceptance in that way. And again, focus on what you can control. So in that same vein of focusing on what you can control, it's important to get really clear on your financial goals. There are always going to be people chiming in your ear on what you should do financially, be it friends or family, or some unlicensed stranger on TikTok. And those conversations tend to only really focus on results. And of course, yes, we want results. We want positive results for your finances, for your investment portfolio. But if the results that we're talking about don't match your actual objective as a unique individual, what's the point? The best you can do after becoming really clear on your own top goals for the year is to just tune out others' unsolicited advice because your facts are different. And of course, not to say that you in interactions with your family are just not listening or that you're cutting them off altogether. But you can let them know that you have your own plan and you have your own goals and you appreciate the advice. But you know firmly for yourself that what you're doing already is the right thing. And you can only know that, of course, if you're clear on your financial goals and if you have a strategy set up that are in line with those goals. So, Yes, of course, working with a trusted financial advisor can be helpful for this. As for someone in my role, it's our job really to be knowledgeable about your various available options and to get to know you and to get to know your goals before we start making suggestions. Now, this is an important distinction here too, is the before piece, because we at NewMaker really do care about getting to know you before we just start selling you various solutions. Now, thankfully, we have access to a lot of different solutions, financial planning being probably the best starting point for most people. But there are many financial advisors that unfortunately are just out to sell a product or just out to meet a quota. So just be wary of that in your search for help from a trusted advisor. And finally, we want to encourage you with your financial life, with your financial health, to quit apologizing for taking care of yourself. Now, just a very basic example that's top of mind from the holiday season is maybe your friends want to go out to eat, but that going out to eat with them might be against your financial and or health goals for the month. So there are things you can do instead. There are small boundaries you can set. There are different suggestions you can make. Maybe you offer instead that you have a night where you stay in and you all cook together. I just did this with my girlfriends a few weeks ago. Maybe you meet them after dinner for the second part of the evening. Or maybe you just sit this one out, but whatever you decide, even if it is ultimately going out with your friends for dinner, maybe it is the case on this particular night that, gosh, this is going to take me a little bit off of my financial goals. But for this evening, the more important thing for you and your overall health, your mental health, is having that social connection, having that sense of community. If you decide that that's the case, own it and fully enjoy your night out with your friends. Because the worst thing you can do is to choose to go out, not enjoy yourself, still spend the money anyway, and then feel bad for it all night long and the whole week after potentially. So whatever you do, really, really own your decisions and be very firm with yourself about what your goals are and what's the best way for you to take care of yourself and those goals, even though they compete sometimes. So I'm really curious what other resolutions you all have for 2025. We'd love to hear it. And of course, if there are ways that we can help here at NewMaker, we always offer a complimentary consultation for your first meeting with us. And we'd love to begin the discussion. So hopefully this has been helpful, and we will see you all in the next few weeks. Take care.